Good morning. Let's go ahead and call our Parks and Community Services Committee meeting for Thursday, February 20th, 2025 to order. First of all, can everybody hear me okay?
Hey, Les.
Maybe a thumbs up or something.
Hey, Les, you're cutting out really bad.
I was afraid of that.
Driving in a car.
Let's see.
I think he's driving. He's driving. Yeah, he might be in Big Britain. So, yeah.
I think he's going to the Gulf of America. Check it out.
We are headed that direction, yes. Come on. Does that sound any better?
Yeah, let's roll with that and let's see what happens.
All right, so hi Kirk, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
That's better? All right,
Yep.
thank you. We hit a bump every time I try to change. I'm sorry. All right, so I called us to order. First order of business is approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any corrections to be made?
No.
No.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
Thank you.
I second.
All right. All right, then we will simply, by a show of hands, vote yay for accepting them. No, I guess we're good. Public comment. Do we have anybody in the auditorium today?
We do not.
Okay, anybody online that wants to make a comment?
Jan's online, but she does not have her hand raised.
Okay. All right. Racing right along then. Let's have the monthly state of the parks, please.
All right, well, Kirk's got the list, but before he goes over that, I wanted to say thanks to the Cola Bible College volunteers these past several months. They've been really helpful in removing invasive species such as blackberries, hollies, and ivy, picking up a lot of trash. They helped with playground equipment install, and planted a couple trees.
Sticker removal.
Oh, and stickers, and been greatly appreciated. And also Betty and Mark too have, and then the Saturday Weed Warriors cleanup crew. So it's a big help. We're running out of stuff for them to do.
Yeah. We did our annual, monthly beach access check and maintenance. All the beach accesses towards the end of winter are in good shape. Tolovana Wayside Ramp remains closed, but that will be a one afternoon fix once the storms pass. The Fisherman's Dance sculpture at the bottom of Sunset has been taken down, and it's going to get picked up on, the three pieces get picked up on Saturday. They get hauled away and they're going to be cast in bronze. They should be back in a few months.
Oh.
AJ worked with the Street Boys to rebuild the upper Center Street stairs. They were all done. They came out beautiful. We had a few more stairs after the washout. They've been rebuilt. We got on it quick. We've got a load of topsoil and top dressed a whole bunch of beds around town. AJ planted a new cedar tree on 2nd Street by Recycle, and we pulled out a struggling redwood in the main park, replaced it with a shore pine. The redwood we put them in pots and we they haven't been discarded. It's fine. It just, we gotta give it a chance to recover and find a different place for it. And we also have talked to the people at RV Resort, city owns it, and we approved to replace some of their damaged, destroyed little cherry trees in their field out front. We're gonna replace some trees there. AJ did a major graffiti remediation at the main park wall. The wall at the basketball court he ended up having to paint the wall, a piece of, and with some other graffiti, but that's comes and goes, and it's actually been pretty tame this winter, but when it happens, it sucks, but
Yeah.
we try and take care of it.
Oh, and I just ordered a new basketball backboard and rim yesterday for that one. Since it has graffiti and it's all deteriorated, we decided it's
How
best to
they,
just replace it.
how they got up to spray paint the back of the backboard or the front of the backboard, they must have had a ladder or something.
No, they can climb it.
And
They
that's,
climb it and they come across the bar, because I've seen kids sitting up there and stuff, and they've done it before, but this is bad, but there's some rust. It's a steel backboard. Anyway, I put that backboard in new, but it was the first year I worked here, so it's 23 years old.
wow.
So
Time for a
it's
new one.
time to replace it.
And then once weather gets a little better and there's more people actually using it, we'll replace it or change it out.
Yeah, it's okay. Till we get it.
If we could put spikes around it so that.
Yeah.
Just is what it is, I think. And also with roads department's little shorthanded, and there's a bunch of holidays, and recycle's going through a transition. So we've spent some time in other departments, a little bit more than we normally would in the roads department, wastewater. Wastewater guys have couple projects, so we both know how to do the daily routine for wastewater. So we've been called upon to do that a little bit too. So,
Gosh,
and it's a good time of year because we're not mowing yet. So that's about it.
And,
And the mowers are all done with their service. We just have to get them back to the shop and be ready to go.
Talk to Tori about that someday.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could ask a question. Are you done, Kirk and AJ?
Yeah.
Okay. I know there was some conversation about the three fishermen sculpture that went on. That public artwork really isn't something that I'm aware we've ever really discussed in this part of this committee. And I guess, Trevor, is that part of our purview?
No, the only
Um,
reason we brought it up because it's considered a pocket park at the bottom of Sunset. That's one of our pocket parks that we created per our master plan that we got years ago, is try to create some more pocket parks. And so we did one there, put the sculpture there. So that's the only reason you're getting advised.
Well, I don't want to disagree with my boss, and I'm not disagreeing, but it is the Parks and Community Services Committee. I think it's nice to let you guys know. I think public art, not that you have anything to decide about it, but I think it's part of your overall interest or awareness, especially when people in the public might ask questions about it and things. I mean,
About missing statues.
yeah.
Karen's on right now. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Karen.
just
I
want
see
to add
Karen.
the whole reason that we were able to move forward with the Fisherman's Dance is because that request and that idea and that discussion came from the Parks Committee. It's something that started with this committee, and the hunt was on to find somebody that could potentially cast it for us. We looked at both concrete just because it was less expensive, and then ultimately acquiesced to bronze when we finally found an artist that would do it for something that was reasonably affordable. Then it was a matter of taking it to the Tourism and Arts to see if they supported the idea that came from the Parks Committee. So that's how it got started. You guys were involved. It just took us 2 years to get to this point.
Different
Okay.
methods. Very similar to the whale, which was a wooden whale for years, and then years ago it fell apart and got cast in bronze. And that also was kind of part of the purview of the Parks Committee at that time.
And I would hope
So I
that
think
that would continue going forward, is that you guys are collaborative with the Tourism and Arts Committee in that fashion. You guys see things daily in the parks and you have ideas and perspectives that they may not have because they don't meet that often during the year, but you guys meet monthly. So feed ideas just like you did with this one, and that partnership should remain.
And to thank you
Very
for
good,
that.
thank you.
I'd agree that it's interesting to hear about it. So if there's
Yeah.
time under the state of the parks, it's interesting just to hear and we understand our place in the process. So.
Yeah. You know, I'm just peripherally aware of where these public artworks are. I'll put a lot more, I'm going to put more effort into that, I think, just so I'm more familiar with the various things that are around town. But I'm fully supportive of what we're doing. I think that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, there's like 10 of them.
And just FYI, I did mention in the tourism and arts meeting when Bruce talked to them about chipping in for this effort, is people have forgotten that we had $10,000 annually in the budget for a number of years, and years would go by and that money was never utilized. And so, you know, I said, instead of just always chasing something new to add in town, don't forget about the maintenance of the existing
Right.
pieces that are already in place. And the last one that we did any work to was the chicken and the egg downtown. But there's many that need some attention now. So I brought that to their attention and talked about maintenance when they lay out their plan of what they want to do. They have got to consider maintenance, not just finding new art, you know.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
thank you very much.
actually, I'm still on it. I'm just looking at the Parks Master Plan. And there is a tiny chapter called Public Art. This is a Parks Committee Master Plan. Continue the practice of incorporating public art into the CB landscape. Cannon Beach is recognized for its vibrant and thriving art scene. The city has historically worked to create opportunities for the public to enjoy the arts. There's a recommendation. Cities should continue to support the arts, specifically looking for opportunities to place public art in locations that enhance experiences for residents and visitors alike. Permanent installations are more efficient, but temporary displays can also be included. Public arts will help maintain the city's reputation.
I don't know if the committee has taken a look at the new plans for City Hall and the police department and discussed any piece of art that would be incorporated into either of those locations. It was certainly discussed during the NACUS project. So that's something this committee could discuss and give a recommendation to the Tourism and Arts Committee. The Parks Committee does not have budget to approve or move forward on something, so you have to feed it through the Tourism and Arts.
Good to know.
I was just going to thank Kirk for the.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. So I was just going to, thanks for the state of the parks and all that work that represented. And as a frequent user of the Center Street stairs, thanks. I know that was a considerable amount of investment
Pretty cool, aren't they?
and time. And I tell you, I use it for a amount. I see other people on it. It's impressive how nice and professional it looks. You know, so
Really nice.
really nice job there. Shows well for the city.
He just got her hand up.
Morning, Kirk and AJ, you probably know this, but just in walking around the wastewater treatment lagoons on the east side, there's a few of those birdhouses that are in need of attention. I think one is fallen off of the pole there. I don't know if you probably already know about that, but just making mention of it.
There's actually a volunteer who installed those and maintains them, and he should be around pretty soon. Schwabi.
Okay.
He works
Okay.
with Jan a lot,
I'll
and
talk to Jan and I'll have him get a hold of him, and
he's the guy who donated the Purple Martin houses, but he also installed all those little tree swallow houses, I think they are. But I know what you mean. Yeah, we have put something back together again, and we'll take care of it if he doesn't.
Okay, all right, great.
All right, thank you very much. So we want to go ahead and take a look at the right-of-way tree report. I know there's one item to discuss there. Are there any questions on that?
I'll just leave a comment with this. This is in lieu of our water line project that we're gonna be doing from Hemlock all the way to Haystack Heights. So we're gonna be boring underneath the highway. We're gonna be utilizing the unimproved right of way on Orford there. So that's why those trees have to go. As you can tell, from the report, they're not in good condition anyway. That's why those trees are getting removed, is in lieu of a massive water line project we're gonna be doing over there. Loop Haystack Heights with a new supply.
I'm very appreciative of the fact that our arborist is recommending that they all get replanted when all that work is done. It just looks like a good proposal to me.
Yeah, and picking a species that will not grow tall, so it won't be hacked on by the power company at a later date. So we took that into account, so we can plant a tree species that will survive and thrive in that location.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the tree focus group, and I'll just give a very brief update. I can't confirm it, but I heard that we were not going to go in front of the city council at the next work session, and then that discussion might be pushed back until April. I don't know, Sherry or Trevor, if y'all know anything about what ended up on the agenda for the council next week, but it looked like it was getting pretty packed.
Not sure what's on the council agenda for next week. Can't answer that question for you.
Okay. Well, I'll just share with the group that we've continued to meet both with the city and with several citizens who have additional proposals. So that dialogue is ongoing. When we do get to meet with the city council again, we intend to do it in a work session so that we can have the opportunity to explain what we're trying to do. And it's just a matter of getting on the agenda. So I don't have anything else with regard to the tree focus group specifically. Are there any questions or anything like that?
Do you anticipate the tree focus group making any revisements after some of the public comment that was made during the city council meeting? In particular, some of the,
Yeah,
I guess, fees, the tree account, and how you felt about some of the comments that were made.
there have been a number of changes that came out of the one meeting with the council. I think you'll be pleased to see them. But there continues to be feedback, and we're really having putting a lot of thought anyway into how to address some of the fire concerns or whether this is the right place to do it. But I can tell you specifically that fee for taking down a significant tree has been cut in half of what it was when it was shown last. So we're continuing to try to find a happy medium spot that recognizes the value of our existing trees versus people's rights to do what they need to do. We'll find it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think that this actually will be a nice model for what a collaborative effort work, how it should work.
Mhm.
So we're still trying.
Good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Anita. Any other questions? If not, I know that there's been a lot of work as far as monthly reserve cleanup and those initiatives. Mark or Betty, do you want to give us a quick update?
Well, AJ kind of said it all. This last week, we canceled the weekend one because it was just way too cold and we only had 2 people come. So what the Bible kids are doing kind of makes up for what our weekend warriors have been not doing. But anyway, it's kind of great to have those kids because they have great energy and work really hard. So I feel like we're getting the kind of work we would have gotten, even though we had to cancel last time. We're still planning on doing one, the third Saturday next month. We won't have the Ecola kids next month because they're on spring break, but they're coming back and they're gonna be with us till Earth Day, and I would love to do something to honor them on Earth Day. So anyway, we've had the help we need, which is wonderful.
Karen's got her hand up.
If you guys would just please do me a favor and get me a list of the names of the young folks that helped us from the Bible College. I'd like to be
Yes.
able to recognize them with a certificate, appreciation token before they leave from school this year.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks
Invite
so
them to-
much.
Invite them to be in the parade.
Yeah.
I would love them. I would love them to be in the parade. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. I think it would be okay. As a group, with identify them.
They want.
Yeah, the kids have been great. So next on our agenda would be a quick update on where we're at with community grants. Sherry put in an updated calendar in the packet, and that's what I'm looking at right now. So February 20, which is today, Sherry, we've got the public notices are posted at the post office, email sent out, and the application posted online. Is that all? Is that going well?
Well, I just posted the notice today, and I also got with Nancy McCarthy to add it to our bulletin.
Good.
So we shall see. I did find out from Jennifer that I'm able to email the past applicants kind of in a roundabout way, just saying we have posted and you may click here. So not actually giving them the applications, but to direct them to our website is the best way to do that. So I'm going to do that today. And, typically with these grants, they know in the springtime, they probably have it on their little radar and on their calendars to ask. So I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. I wasn't able to do the newspaper because we don't have a budget. It's very costly now to do any of the advertisements. So I was told that we should look for other avenues, whether that's, we could always post it at other public areas throughout the community.
Yeah, I appreciate all the work you're doing, Sherry. Thank you very much. I wish, and I guess it's open. I'm open to anybody's suggestions. Are there any other ways we could get the word out that, I guess what I'm thinking is it would be nice. I mean, we've had a very consistent list of people who've asked for grants over the time I've been part of this, and that's great. But we did increase our budget for this last year, and I assume it's increased again this year. So we actually could potentially serve more people that may just not even know about this. I don't have any ideas about any place else to go to get the word out. I see Betty's got her hand up.
Well, I think that, I'm not sure we're allowed to, but there's something called Nextdoor, and also the North Coast PQ, or there's these things that go out to a lot of community members. So that might be an idea, social media. Anybody has any ideas on that? I'm not that familiar with the social media in this area, but.
Karen's got her hand up.
We
Yes.
can put it on the city's Facebook page and the website, but have you guys thought about talking to Cayman Radio. They post on social media as well, and they can do a little blip about Cannon Beach grant opportunities for you.
Oh, good. That's a good idea.
Post
That
it
is a
on-
great idea. Thank you.
Post it on our city Facebook page,
Okay.
okay?
Where is that city Facebook page? What's it?
Don't do
is it
social
just-
media, so I don't know. It's just
Is it
Cannon
just
Beach
called
Facebook.
Cannon Beach,
City of Cannon Beach,
City of Cannon Beach? Okay.
yeah.
I think those are great ideas. Just to kind of get the word out. We do good work and I'm proud of what the city is able to do for the community. And any chance we get to spread the word, I think is worthwhile. According to the schedule, then, really our next big deadline would be April 23rd, the day after 12 days of birthday ends. And that's our deadline for receiving grants. Is there anything that we need to do in the interim to try and make sure that everybody is keeping up with what needs to be done? I don't think that we can reach out individually to people we think want to apply. That would probably be not allowed. Sherry, are you going to you will be receiving the applications, I believe.
Yes, and I keep track of them.
Yeah. So I wonder, maybe if you could, I don't know, maybe the first week in April or so, maybe we could touch base and just see if it looks like we're getting the applications the way that we would expect.
Yes.
What about Clatsop Community College? They might have, since they have a business kind of mentoring department, that they might be able to at least advertise and have a reach to people starting nonprofits or just an idea.
The chamber works with those folks. That's a good idea, Anita. I forget what that group is called, but they support small businesses and things that's available to them funding wise and resource wise and whatnot. The chamber could probably connect us with the person that helps the folks in Cannon Beach.
Okay. Worth a try.
Yeah, that would be great. Anita, do you want to touch base with the chamber and then kind of follow up on that
Sure.
and at least get us some contacts?
Yeah, so let me
Like I say,
understand.
I just feel like we want to get the word out.
Yeah, so the Cannon Beach Chamber, to contact them about contacting Clatsop Community College for their business outreach program type thing, or just
Well, there's a contact that the chamber works with that
okay,
helps small businesses and new small businesses that are getting started.
right,
And so they work with that group anyway. I don't know how they're connected with the
Okay.
college. I think it's the same group, but there is a contact for our area.
okay,
And Jim at the chamber or even his receptionist probably knows who that is.
okay. I
Are-
will check into that.
Are grants for nonprofits or businesses and nonprofits?
I think nonprofits.
Nonprofits.
Nonprofits, yeah.
They have to provide a
Yes,
tax.
right.
But if they were
Right,
new,
I mean-
would they still be eligible if they were just a startup nonprofit?
If they're a nonprofit, yes, but if they're a business, no.
Right,
Well, they have to show, unfortunately, they have to show some kind of financial stability for us to, they have the past.
that's why I'm
Financial
wondering,
stuff.
you have to start somewhere, and whether we would be willing to help start up for a new nonprofit would be the reason going to the college, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we helped the Hispanic group year before last I can't recall their name, but they were essentially, although they had done things in the past under a different name, they were a new group, and I think we were able to to decide that they needed to be supported. I wouldn't be too quick to eliminate somebody new. I think we just need to understand, what their individual situation.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll come with the vetting process.
And
that
if we
you guys
can't,
go
if they don't, right, I wouldn't eliminate them without getting to talk to them.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever reached out to any of the animal rescue folks that are nonprofit with so many of the animals coming into different areas from the fires and floods that have happened across the US? A lot of our shelters and nonprofit animal rescues are overwhelmed right now. Have you guys heard from anybody asking for assistance, or have you reached out to anybody letting them know that's available?
Well, the Wildlife Center up in Astoria, they put in grant
yeah,
requests.
Coast, yeah. They do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wildlife, but I'm talking about kind of the animal rescue perspective, the shelters, or most of those folks are nonprofit.
Okay.
Well, it's worth a call and just to see, I mean, but then where's the line for soliciting, animal rescue shelter versus informing them?
I think you just let them know it's available, not so much that you're soliciting
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Just let them know if they know about it, and here's how they can look into the details if it's a good fit for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if we find anybody that is interested, the best we can do is point them to the city's website,
Right.
where everything is available, and that way we're not going too far, in any way.
Right.
Okay. Are there any other thoughts as far as community grants? It's early in the process, but it'll be a big commitment here later this spring. No, I don't see anybody.
I want to make sure everybody's looking at the calendar because there are a couple of commitments for you guys to meet and make those decisions. And I did hold the room, so we'll have I don't know, the other room, and I'm not sure where we're going to be. Thinking of that room, but I did hold the room so that you guys can collaborate and do your voting and after you review the applications.
Is the city hall gonna be here?
I don't know, but I did reserve it.
It'll still be here.
We might be
Oh.
doing,
It's gonna be real close. Regardless of where we are, you're gonna have a space to do your thing.
we're, and just, be aware, because we might not have this, but we might have the chamber. We don't know.
Okay.
Thanks for producing that calendar. That was helpful to see what's happening on the different dates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get it on our
Absolutely.
calendars. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd just like to put in a special request of the Parks Committee members for May the 7th. I think it means a lot to these different applicants to have us, show up and listen to them and ask questions. So please, by all means, try to make sure you can participate on the 7th. It is possible to do it via Zoom, but if at all possible, please, I will finally be back in the country and I will certainly be there. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right. 12 Days of Earth Day. That's the one looming, obviously. I just want to first point out in the packet, very last page, or last two pages, I suppose, is kind of the 12 days event schedule as I understand it right now. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be corrections. I hope you each had a chance to take a look at it and are ready to tell me what's not right. This is the format that we've used in the past to hand over to Sherry, and then she can very easily put it onto the city website where we're maintaining our calendar and event schedule. Any
Okay.
thoughts?
Well, one thing I saw right away is the 12 days street fair is on the 19th, not the 20th this year.
Okay,
the
well,
20th last year.
that would be important.
Say,
12 days street fair is on the 19th, not the 20th this year.
That is a Saturday, right?
yep.
Yeah.
So, I see what you're saying. So it's sorry, that's a cut and paste that carried over and I didn't correct it. Thank you.
That's all right.
So let me just kind of run through from the top. I don't want to cut anybody off, but unless there's on Monday, the 7th, outside of our 12 days, part of Cardam is wanting to do a craft event associated with the Kennedy Beach Academy. And I think I got that information from you, Betty. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. Yeah. So she's going to be doing the thing she did last year was making eyeglasses, turning them into something spectacular. And we're going to be the kids are going to be in the parade as different animals so that they're going to be making these eyeglasses into perspective from a bug's view or a pollinator's view. So they can make their glasses, whatever costume they decide to be, like a slug or a fly or a worm. Anyway, they're going to make their glasses on that day. She's going to teach a recycle reuse class to the kids. Should be fun.
Mhm.
We're going to invite.
Sounds great.
We're going to invite parents too.
So on the heart of Cardam, so they are not going to be at the street fair with a booth, I believe.
No, they're not, but they are going to be at Solve. That before the people go out to do Solve cleanup, she's going to talk to them about microplastics because she's been working with Solve around the North Coast on collecting microplastics, and she goes into schools and she's teaching kids how to make things with microplastic. They're making murals, and so she would like to talk to the people that are going to be collecting and bring that stuff back and give it to her so she can go clean it and use it with the kids. So that's what she's going to do. She's not going to have a booth.
Okay. Betty, I think you have talked to Janae. I spoke to her yesterday. She is putting on, sponsoring a Solve Beach cleanup, but I'm not sure yet where that group is going to meet at. It may not be at the City Hall location like we have traditionally done it. I think there's a little bit of coordination.
Well, Trevor,
We're talking about the Solve event for
Yeah.
the 12 Days of Earth Day.
so I think that it's set, we're going to do it at the parking lot, right where the Shreds usually is.
Just down below.
Yeah, right down here. So it'll be where the Shreds usually is, because that way, if nothing's here, we can still do it.
Right.
Well, Janae had some ideas of alternative places where they would come back with the bags of debris. And I just, wherever we want them to bring their filled bags of, that's probably where we want to start as well. At least that's the way we've done it
Well,
in the
then
past.
she
So
would
I just
say-
want to throw it out there. We just need to make sure we're all together.
Well, she said if we do it here down at the parking lot, then she can use surf sand, which she usually uses. So she thought this would be the best if we could be where we normally are instead of changing positions.
We're staying in this location here.
Yeah,
There'll be a dumpster there.
Yes.
Yeah, they bring it back here.
All right. Thank you, Betty and Kirk and Trevor. I didn't get that understanding when I talked to Janae, but I caught her in the middle of something. So as long as we kind of keep it in mind, I think we'll be fine. It's a good program. All right. So once we start with the daily event calendar, if you will, on Friday the 11th, that will be the Tree City USA Award ceremony. I assume it'll be at the same time, 10 a.m., but Trevor, whatever y'all tell me, we can correct that.
That's correct. 10 a.m. at the north entrance and 10:30 at the south entrance.
okay.
Okay. So that's just same as it's been in the past. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
And then on the 12th, we've got a couple of events. The trail cleaning work party is going to be bumped up a week. Betty, that's correct, isn't it?
Yes. And we're not meeting at Madison Park.
Okay.
That's, but we'll decide where we're gonna meet. That was the first,
Yeah.
that was from last year.
A lot of this is what was on our thing from last year. So don't let it throw you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just needs to be corrected. And then I also understand that the library is going to be offering something. I think Anita, you were the one who talking to the library, weren't you?
You're muted, Anita.
Sorry. Yes, Jen at the library is very excited. There is a time change, however, it'll be starting at 1 p.m. rather than the 2 p.m. And they're also planning to do some crafts as well as story time, but it will be geared towards kids, although there is no age limit or capacity limit. They're just excited to have anybody and everybody that wants to come to the library during that
Right.
time, or any time probably, to join in with that activity. And then I will be probably helping Jen at that event as well. So
1 p.m. to when?
I think 1 to 3 probably, just to. I think the library is only open till 4, but I'm gonna think 1 to 3 just as a base. But I'll confirm that.
Okay.
You guys want like a flyer for that, to attract the kids, you gotta go to the school, have a flyer sent to,
Jen's child goes to the school.
huh?
Jen's child goes to the school, so that's good.
But you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, we could put
To get people attracted to these things, you
Yeah.
want to.
yeah,
I bet Jen would be great at getting a flyer together and putting it up at the school, or somehow I could talk to her about that as well.
that's good. Good,
Yeah,
good point, Sherry.
yeah.
Okay. So I don't have anything currently for Sunday, the 13th. I have had several conversations with Liz over at the History Center, and she told me that they did intend to do host some kind of event, but I don't have any details or dates yet. Yes, Anita.
Well, I talked with Liz as well, and the only thing that I could really confirm with her is that Kelly from HRAP has committed tentatively, maybe Liz was going to confirm on Thursday the 17th to do a talk at 4 p.m. on puffins. Liz is very willing to have any speaker, event, film, lecture that we want to have at the History Center, so just letting her know. And then we kind of talked about, a film after the Gaylord Nelson Award on Wednesday. But then I wasn't sure how to get the film that was recommended, Biggest Little Farm. So I wasn't quite sure how to set that up. Apparently you can download it on a laptop, but that's going to have to be shown how to do that or something.
I was,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Mike helped him set that up my husband helped him set that up last year. And I think Stacy might have a copy of that movie.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to say. Can we invite Mrs. Benefield, because she's just wonderful, and would love to have her join for that. And And Liz mentioned that Stacy's always really good about baking, so I didn't know if we could solicit that from her, but that would be wonderful, just to extend that invitation once we get that nailed down, maybe.
Yeah, I think we should invite Stacy any chance we get, and I think she would really be pleased with that. What she told me, just to the story, that particular movie is available at the Seaside Library.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So we just need to get it or download it or whatever. But that recommendation came from Stacy, and I think I'm sure it's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Betty, do you want to have Mike help set that up on
Yeah,
Wednesday?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
Does,
Yeah, and
does Kelly need anything for the 17th?
I don't know. Liz was gonna confirm that day and time with Kelly because it seems like she's also doing something else during Earth Days. So I think we just need to make sure and sensitive to Kelly's time and what she can do. So I'm just putting that out there tentatively right now, per Liz.
okay. Well, and again, it's just, this is kind of the way this goes. It comes together in bits and pieces, and as we get closer to the start, things firm up. So I think we're doing pretty good. We've got a pretty good schedule of events. There's a few more that will pop up, but it's mainly just keeping up with all the moving parts. So Sunday the 13th doesn't have anything currently. What we have done in the past is every day that we don't have something, then we promote HRAP, and you go out to the beach and take advantage of that. So just FYI, we're not necessarily trying to fill every single day. That would be good in one sense, and it would be, terrible in another, to feel like we were obligated. We want good events that people will want to participate in. And then on Monday, the 14th, then again, talking to Betty, they're going to do a preparation event at Cannon Beach Academy, and that's primarily the students. I mean, it should be the students, I guess. Isn't that right, Betty?
Yeah, it's gonna be the children and parents and whoever else wants to come to help them make their costumes for the parade. And Les had this great idea to have a poster called Our Planet, Our Power. And the kids, if they're in the parade, they'll be all dressed up as little pollinators and things like that. So we're gonna work on that on Monday, the 14th, from 3 to 4:30. So it'll be fun.
And that's at the school, Betty, or Tolovana?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, well, I don't know. Good question. I'll find out.
okay,
It's gonna be one of the other buildings.
okay.
Right. And then on open day on Tuesday, the 15th, currently, on the 16th, as we've already kind of talked about, the Gaylord Nelson, the History Center has already confirmed that slot for us. We'll do the Gaylord Nelson Award presentation and then follow it with our movie. That was very enjoyable last year. I can't say that it was hugely attended, but I'm really hoping that we can promote that a little bit more. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Then on Thursday, April the 17th, of course, we have our Parks and Community Services meeting in the morning. And now it looks, at least tentatively, we've got a HRAP Puffin talk at the History Center.
Yes,
And I guess, Anita, are you going to be kind of keep up with that and let me know when it gets confirmed so that I can
yes,
stick it in? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Friday, April 18th. Of course, that's we're going to do Canopy Shreds. I got a note from Barb Knopf that the shredding event or the shredder is all lined up to be there from 10 till 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They've come every year. I'll be there on site through that. We did talk a little bit over the course of the last year about maybe changing some of our policy on donations. I don't know that we need to discuss that right now, but that's really the only issue that I'm aware of that changed from last year. If some business shows up with tons of stuff, we probably want them to help us financially in some way. And then Mark, you're the one, I think, primarily that has been working with Recology and this recycling thing. Can you share what that's going to be? It'll be at the same location, I believe.
Yes, and thank you for that. And actually, I got to give credit to both Trevor and Betty and probably a handful of other people have actually been helping with it too. But it's coming together now that it'll actually coexist with the shredding event taking place here in the parking lot right next to City Hall. So everything's in one location, and Recology has agreed to collect batteries. And it's described in that email what they'll collect. They won't collect like car batteries, but household type batteries in there. And they'll be collecting those. And then also electronics, which are kind of hard to get rid of sometimes. I know I got rid of a computer recently. I had to drive it to Astoria. So they'll be collecting monitors, computers, old receivers, if people have got anything like that. And then they'll also, we're going to pull out a big tarp so that we don't make a mess in the parking lot, but they'll actually be donating up to a 5-gallon bucket of their compost. So I think that'll be fairly desirable for folks too, participating in that. They might not have anything. Get a 5-gallon bucket of compost is a pretty good deal. They'll have that out. We'll throw a tarp down, fill the buckets. They were sensitive about not leaving any mess afterwards. They said they're used to working with that. So I think it'll all be good. So
Awesome.
any questions on that? That's about a summary.
Glad they're doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to get the word out about that, Mark, because I think a lot of people would appreciate being able to dump off batteries or old electronics. So maybe Nancy McCarthy can also include that as a big push. And I don't even know, maybe coffee with the counselors, just to really get the word out for that event during Earth Days.
I agree. I think that anything we can do to publicize is well, it's effort well spent. On the compost, so the expectation is that individuals will bring their own 5-gallon bucket, I assume.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, most people have a couple of them around somewhere in there, but bring their own 5-gallon bucket and they'll fill it up. Yeah.
So a lot of times when I go down to the green dump, there's always, there are 5-gallon buckets sitting over there. Would it be worthwhile to collect a few just as people drop them off at the green dump so that we've got some that where people, if they don't bring their own bucket, can just take one?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway,
Recycle,
okay.
reuse.
What now?
Recycle, reuse.
Well, I like the idea, but I'd just be concerned that all of a sudden we're left with 10 buckets and we just take them back there.
I bring them back. They're full of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I don't think you
Juice.
use those ones.
Maybe what we could do is if somebody wants the compost, they show up without a bucket, we tell them where they think they might be able to.
Might be able to get one at Recycle if you go down there and take it home and wash it and bring it back.
But the comment earlier about us advertising this, if we advertise that to get the compost, you need to show up with a 5-gallon bucket, we get that word out. I'd imagine most people.
Walk bag, anything.
Yeah.
You can knock on the back door of a lot of restaurants in town and ask them to give you a 5-gallon bucket and you'd be surprised how.
Probably two garbage sacks, put one inside the other is strong enough to hold it. So if you want compost, that's kind of, brown gold, if you will. So people will work out a way to get it.
And it probably could be a 3-gallon bucket.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that this is included in the other as a note to the other advertisement that's going out about out about recology and the shred, the shred event. Let's add that to it too.
When I would being a part of the bank back in the day, I would advertise to my customers for the Can Beat shreds. And I don't know if somebody has an in over here at US Bank, but it's nice to tell those customers.
That's a great idea. Good.
Just, just an FYI, having those flyers available and be able to post at areas that people are gonna see them,
Right.
just for those specific needs.
A good idea.
The other thing I'm not sure if anybody's ever talked about is, last year, the city bailed us out on the paying for the truck.
Mm.
I don't know if anybody's thought about that this year. I don't know if cities can bail us out again or your donations, or if you can have somebody sponsor. I don't know. You guys know?
Les was talking about that. We talked about it last year because some people show up with a truck and give us a tiny check. And some people come with one bag and give us a big check. So I think we were thinking about, if you fill up 5 bins, you're gonna pay a certain amount. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, yeah, but then you're not, I guess, wanting to make sure you have those funds to pay for this truck.
Right.
That's right. But
Yeah, so when I talked to Barb, and I don't want to I think this is the way it worked. Bruce is prepared to basically pay the shredder the balance that we don't collect. I probably need to double check that, but that was my understanding. And that's what happened last year. So we don't have a budget, and it's a pretty expensive operation to get them to come out. It's like $1,000 or more.
I think in the past, it's been advertised as a free shred event.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you want to change that, just be aware of that. That's all.
yeah, I think we need to
No,
change.
and that's, yeah, once we come up, and I'm open to suggestions, I've heard several, when we come up with our scheme, I want to make sure that we publish it up front, and because it has been essentially a free event, although donations were always gladly accepted and kind of expected. But we also had money from some grant that occurred several years ago, so we knew that we could cover it. That no longer exists.
But it seems like it'd be relatively
Anyway,
easy
it's worthwhile doing. We'll work out the details.
Sorry,
Go
Les,
ahead.
I was mumbling. It might be relatively easy to do it, is that it's free up to a certain weight. I mean, we don't want to make it too complicated, but donations encouraged up to pick your 5-10 pounds. And if it's above that weight, it's so much per pound. And then the commercial folks still might want to come in, but then they're paying proportionally above what really the program's designed for. So, and probably could do that with a bathroom scale, or I think some of those trucks actually have scales on them because sometimes they charge by weight. Trevor's smiling at me though.
Be cautious with this because it's like Kirk says, it's been advertised as a free event. If you're receiving donations, people out of the kindness of their heart are giving donations. I was not involved in the conversation with the mayor and Bruce, but if that's the scenario, then it seems like everything is going to pan out.
Okay,
I'll just be cautious with
good point.
just 35 cents.
Maybe just seriously encourage some serious donations and see what happens this year.
Yeah,
I hate to see anything on Earth Day start
yeah.
charging money for stuff, but
That's a good point too.
I guess you could promote donations more strongly than we have in the past. I don't know.
We could have somebody
I'll
sponsor.
I'll talk to Bruce and ask to make sure my understanding is not incorrect. And maybe what we want to do as a committee is well, we could either try to get on the budget where we have a line item, or we could consider looking for a grant to support our 12 days of Earth Day. I don't know that that's out of line, but that some kind of a grant that was acquired 5 or 6 years ago is what's been paying for the shred event. Anyway, maybe it's just something we need to put on our to-do list and think about it. But I'll talk to Bruce specifically about this year to make sure that I'm not misspeaking.
There's a community
All
grant
right, so
program you could apply for. Cannon Beach Community Grant.
Well,
Runs through the Parks Committee. You could put in for a grant for the shred event.
You'd probably be a shoo-in.
I'm not sure how that would work. All right, so according to my clock, we are at our time commitment. I'd like to go ahead and finish up going through this calendar. Is that okay with the group?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go run over. So Saturday, April 19th, as Betty's already pointed out, is the big day. We've got the parade that normally starts at 11 a.m. We've got the street fair that also normally starts at 11 a.m. and then runs to 1 p.m. We've got a Solve Beach cleanup that will kind of be going concurrently. And then again, thanks to, I think to Mark, but it could be many people. We've got a presentation that I think is going to follow the street fair, and it'll be at the Cannon Beach Chamber Hall. Is that all still about right?
Yes, yes. And again, this is an example where Betty has been involved in those conversations too. So immediately after the street fair, it'll be the North Coast Land Conservancy that's going to have a booth at the street fair, but they'll move over after they pick up to the chamber. And we've got some cooperation from Michelle. I don't know her last name. She's got the Basalt Pottery, and she's already reserved the building for some puffin talks, and she's agreed we could have it from like 1 to 2:30. And so that'll be a conversation there, and they're gonna talk about intertidal area kind of habitat conservation. So.
Okay. And Mark, this was the one where Karen had some concerns that it not be too political or not be something that the city wouldn't want to put their stamp on it. I know you reached out to the lady with North Coast Land Conservancy. Were there any concerns at all about it being?
Thank you for that. I'm not concerned. I appreciate you pointing it out. I copied you on the emails, both of what I sent her, fairly, clear about what the limitations were. No lobbying, that the city does sanction these events now. They can't ask for any people to take a political position or an action. And they understood completely. And they also will come back with an outline of their presentation. But I've worked with them a number of times. I have no doubt that they understood the limitations of what they can and can't do. But thanks for confirming that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Karen, I know you're still online. Are you comfortable now, or do you need anything else?
And we are getting an outline of their talk. So I will present that. That's another deliverable.
That.
Yeah. Perfect.
I got a few things here that concerns, but just thinking ahead is next month's parks meeting, Anita, we need to set a date so we can notify the businesses on Second Street about the fair. What we've done, so let's try to pick a date at next month's meeting, okay?
Yes.
Second one is years past that we've supplied tables and materials for the fair. Well, we're gonna be in a transition period at that time here at City Hall. Most of these tables, I could imagine all of them are gonna go into storage, some kind of a storage unit. So we're not gonna have the arsenal that we've always had. So please encourage the vendors to bring their own stuff, because we're not gonna have usual stuff. Okay?
I have two more events that we haven't talked about. Monday, the 21st, the NCWA, North Coast Association, Watershed Association, is going to be meeting. I haven't found a place yet, but I was going to talk to Anita and Mark about that. But they're going to talk about their beaver project here in town, and their pollinator restoration, bringing back the silver spot
silver spotted butterfly.
Yeah, so they're going to be talking about their efforts to do that and encouraging people to come that want to be part of restoration. And so we don't have a time or a place for that, but that'll be
think
on the
Liz-
20th.
Liz at the History Center sounds like she'll be available and willing to even open it up if they're closed or just accommodate however we need them to. So
And
that
that
might
would
a
be
good place to start.
5:30.
Yeah,
Thank you. That would be 5:30, probably till 6:30, something like that.
okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Liz has always been great.
Okay. And then on the 22nd is the tree planting at the little school. And I'm not sure what the time of that, but last year, what time did we do it?
2:30, that's what.
Yeah, that's a good time because then after that we could, I'm hoping that the Ecola kids can come and help with that tree planting. And then after we come back, we could honor them and have a little Earth Day celebration. So,
Sounds great.
yeah. And then the next day is community grants. Oh, well.
Yep.
That's good.
Take off your Earth Day hat and put on your community grant hat.
Right.
So, are there any other immediate burning thoughts with regard to 12 days? I think we've done a good job of covering it. We've got several days that are open if we want to find something more. I think unless we're inviting someone new, we want to make sure we run them by the city first. But I think things look pretty good. That's my opinion. And thank you everyone for all the work you're putting into it.
I have one more.
Any other thought?
One more
Yeah.
request. I was at the Garden Club meeting yesterday and they were talking about having a talk by, I guess, Mark Rickman or somebody about fire resistant plants that you can plant around your home. I don't know if that would be an interesting thing for us to add to one of our empty days. And I don't know if the fire person would want to do that, but I just wanted to throw that out as an idea. Because it's something that people have on their minds now. So I don't know what everybody thinks, but
Are you talking about in addition to when he speaks to the garden club?
he was gonna speak to the garden club, but they're not sure he's gonna do it. So I thought maybe we could pin him down and have him do it either like as an event and then find a place for it. We have a couple days with nothing happening,
I
so
would get a commitment from them.
what?
Get a commitment from them.
Yeah, get a commitment
Okay.
first.
Before you add them to anything, just get a firm commitment from them.
Do you guys think that would be interesting? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
An option would be to,
Yeah,
if he has any printed material, maybe even send one of his guys to set up a table at the street fair and just pass out some information.
There, that's a good idea too.
That I'm afraid, instead of trying to have a gathering, I don't know.
Okay. All right, okay,
as you say, that's on the top of everybody's thoughts these days.
yes.
Okay. So good of the order if we're at a good spot with regard to 12 days. I have one item that I need to bring up, but open to whoever.
I've got one last, it was just, you may not see, but I appreciate Sherry sending out the email to talking about native wildflowers and pollinators. I kind of got excited about it, attending a wildlife and forestry conference in Salem last week. So thanks for sending out there primarily links. But I did bring copies of a native bees and the North American beaver, kind of talking about their habitat and restoration and reestablishment appropriately. So I'll make sure Anita and Les that you get a copy of these. I'm not sure if they've got a spot here at City Hall or not. Otherwise, I'll bring them to a next meeting. But it was basically just to get you information about that and think about it. And there could be some time in the future and we want to talk about native plant establishment that would naturally attract native bees. We want to make sure that it's compatible with other uses, particularly if it's on city property anywhere. We don't want to put a patch in the middle of a playground. Is just an extreme example. But there's other places in there too that are just frequented by people, and we don't want to create a hazard. And so it's mainly just information for get out from that. And then I'm under good order, just real quick. Maybe we can talk about it another time. I'll check with Trevor or others on the process, but idea of a memorial tree for our recently passed previous mayor, Sam Stidel. If there'd be a place in a park or something like that, if it's still permitted, if it's something that's still done, knowing his enthusiasm for the environment and causes in the past, I think that would be a nice way to recognize him. Or possibly do something in there to recognize the family, with Bill and Sally also. So I just thought that would be nice, something permanent to establish.
We do have that program established.
Okay.
There are commemorative plaques that people can donate a tree to the city and we can plant.
Plaque goes at the bandstand.
Okay, great.
They have the plaques already, the commemorative plaques are already up. But I think that's appropriate.
Okay, very good.
Not be a plaque next to the tree recognizing it, but we would plant a tree.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be open to conversation about a location for that.
All right. Thank you for that.
I have something that I forgot. The, one of the purviews of the committee is interpretive signs. There's 15 or 16 of them out there. I just want to let you know at the Second Street Beach Access, it's a sign that's a beautiful Charlie the Calf sign on it. Talks about the beach bill in the public coast. It's shot. It's just a blank piece of crackly white. And we have a new one. We have a backup. We're going to install it. If you see it there, you don't need to call Trevor and let him know. It's unbelievable how it weathered quick. It was fine 6 months ago, but the location is brutal. I understand that, but you have a backup, we'll put it in and we'll also order another one to have it on hand. We have backup of all those signs up at the yard, so
That's great.
we buy 2 at a time.
That's great.
They've asked, this one's been there.
That's great.
It seems like it was just yesterday, but it's been there for 10 years, so. So it's not worth thinking about moving it. If we get 10 years out of a sign, then we'll just replace it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the perfect place for that sign, since
Right.
that's where it all happened.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from other members?
Anita's got her hand up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just hoping at some point that maybe we could start discussing for any revisions or updates on the parks, trails, master plan. Just reading through it just to make sure that some of the goals that were recommended are still viable. I'm not quite sure what the process is for that, but I like knowing this information and some of the recommendations that were and efforts that were put into this. Although I will say that some of them don't seem realistic. In particular to me is the bathrooms on the stairway to Haystack Rock, but I'm hoping that the committee can maybe with Karen's blessing and Trevor start discussing any revisions or updates to that to recommend to City Council.
I think that's appropriate. Just to give everyone a heads up about the workload that we have here. We're doing our water master plan and our wastewater master plan as we speak. So I got to get through those 2 hurdles first and foremost. But I think it's appropriate for you guys to start doing your homework on our current master plan to have a robust discussion of what you guys want changed at a later date. I got to get through these 2 master plans that I already got going right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Great. Thank you.
I'm not sure what the rules are anymore, but I can remember when I was on the Parks Committee, once in a while I would have work sessions. In other words, an agenda, no agenda so much as get together and talk about this for a little while without taking any action. I mean, in preparation of an actionable item at a future meeting. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have work sessions, but I don't know.
It's good.
Good.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. I like
Well,
that.
thank you, Anita. I think that is a good idea. And I have not found time to really dive into the Parks Master Plan in a couple of years. I need to do that. So I think that's good advice for all of us.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can follow up with, what Kirk suggested, put it on the agenda and somebody can kind of take the lead and kind of walk us through the, the master plan as it exists today. Okay, I have one thing that I need to discuss with the council or the committee. June the 19th meeting date is not going to be available, and I don't remember why.
The holiday.
But Sherry and I, is that a holiday? Okay.
Holiday, we're closed.
So our options really are either June the 18th or June the 20th. That's a Wednesday, the 18th, or a Friday, the 20th, I believe.
Please don't do it
And
on the
I would
20th.
recommend we just move it up to the 18th. I would recommend the 18th. Is there any discussion?
That's fine with me.
Doesn't look like it. So why don't we just, by show of hands real quick, who is in favor of moving the June meeting to the 18th?
Hold on, I gotta look at my calendar. Make sure I'm available.
Hold on.
I'm available.
That makes you're a yes vote then. Are there any opposed to moving our meeting to the 18th? I don't see anybody moving, so so be it. So Sherry, can you make that change in our calendar, please?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for keeping everybody so long, but I think it's been a good meeting. I appreciate it very much. It's just any last words? Otherwise, I'm gonna let everybody go.
Be safe.
Bye,